I want to share with you this petition from 12/11/12. Some person named Sakisha Delbs, upon penalty of perjury before the laws of the state of Washington, claimed that I said my real targets are David Stone and John Hall. They have tortured me for 40 years. I have a vague memory of who David Stone may have been. He was associated with sound mental health. But what possible logic could there be to my saying something this stupid? It's a lie, it's a slander. One of the other psychiatrists said he believes he was kidnapped and tortured as a child. I have all sorts of evidence for it. I have pictures of me in obvious trauma. I have pictures of me, my neurological system and my eyes injured from the beatings. I have traumatized statements that I made. I have letters from people who were threatening to kill me. How could I possibly make that up? They have no scruples about lying under penalty of perjury. This is the state of Washington's establishment, lying under penalty of perjury. I ask you again. I don't know who the hell John Hall is. I've never heard the name before. Daryl Hall, Oliver Stone, David Stone, I remember. John Hall, who's this? I've never even heard of him. And here they have me. Okay, I was arrested for sharing an anger management note to myself with someone I trusted who worked it out and apologized to me. So, in all of the interim, things like this surface. Why, if I was explaining carefully that what I had done was shared an old message to myself that I wanted anger management counseling about. After I got hit in the face, my glasses were nearly broken. You have no idea how hard it is for me to replace glasses when they break. I had legitimate reason to be angry, and the person I talked to about it, who reported me, admitted that that happened. He saw it. Okay, so it all got worked out. He's still my friend, no harm done. Why, when I'm sitting there in custody, wanting to be let out over Christmas, wanting to be put there by a facility that refused to allow me to go to school for 12 years. Keep in mind that since I've been to two schools and made Phi Theta Kappa and honors. Okay, so in other words, I'm not stupid. I wasn't cunning enough to work with these people growing up because I was deaf and completely deceived. And they're making me out to be now that I'm cunning, right? No, no. I simply calmly said I wasn't threatening anybody. Now, when I'm making this stand before the law, believe me, they were determined to keep me. They were heavily medicating me against, which is obviously illegal with these purge statements, and they had detained me. I mean, you could argue that it's a form of torture. I might have said I was tortured for 10, 12 years by these people. I don't know. But why, when I'm making clear that I'm not a threat to anybody, would I say my real targets are? I mean, it doesn't congrue with the realities of the situation. It's a gross flim flam. Does she have a tape? Does she mind providing a tape of where I said that I was targeting anybody? I wasn't targeting anybody. It's ridiculous. It's the opposite of true. Um, she says, I expressed the delusion of being injected with HIV. Now, this is the facility that poisoned me in the mouth, okay? And ignored for 10 years a letter from Mount Desert Island surrounding my name with positive and negative signs and talking about injecting people. Now, I didn't say they injected me with HIV. I said that they sent me a postcard surrounding my name with positive and negative signs and talked about injecting people. And that the person who did that had said to me in 1981 or so, what would you think was a scheme to transform the human race by injecting the blood? And here he was on Mount Desert Island running a war game of sexual entrapment to mandate AIDS testing. It's hovering. So she's we won't call her delusional. She's reading into it and perfectly willing to commit perjury. She doesn't ask, could you clarify for me here for a second, please, just for a minute? Are you saying you were injected with HIV? No, 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 no. I wasn't poisoned in the mouth yet. I'm saying that these people have ignored that I produced a card from Wills L. Brown from Mount Desert surrounding my name with positive and negative signs and talking about injecting people. See the difference? There's a big difference because the threat is an implied threat, but it doesn't prove that they made good on it. Uh-huh. See, so her lack of comprehension is a complete perfect example of why I shouldn't have been there because all of this was true even when I was in college making straight A's. It was still true. It didn't cease being true because I was in college making straight A's. It's not like I somehow recovered from anything other than the psychological. Are you allowed to call it psychological violence? What do you think it was? Um, and so because I was angry about getting hit in the face with a basketball by somebody who deliberately hit me in the face and could have broken my glasses, and expressed this anger verbally to myself, for which I sought someone to check on my temper to make sure I was okay. I'm a threat to the community, and these people aren't threats to the community. I admit that I shared the note to myself. That doesn't mean I admit threats. My real targets. Do you have a tape of this? I would love to see the CC. Gallaudet, psychiatrist who can hear, play it for her. I want to make sure, absolutely sure, that you are Ms. Dell. Sakisha, is that a woman's name? I'm not sure. Well, this person named Sakisha Dells signed on 12/11/12 that under penalty of perjury, I said my real target. This was when I was trying to get out. This was when I was on my best behavior. I don't deny was showing my indignation. The things that they were saying about me were the most scurrilous things I'd ever heard. Who possibly could imagine that they were kidnapped and tortured as a child? I was hit blindside. I have scars on my eyes, glaucoma from it. I have a torn facial nerve. Look, who are these stupid people? You want to see more of their scurrilous manuscripts? This is Jay Inslee's government, Christine Gregoire's government. These are the people who gave me a completely unwarranted medication while demanding compliance. And this is what they were doing if I didn't comply with medication. A completely unwarranted medication, which chemically castrated me. While one of these people who was working this network, who ended up poisoning me in the mouth, was hiding that he was a classmate and probably a friend of the man who made off with the woman I was engaged to be married to. And this is supposedly a checks and balances system. Is that what you're saying? This is checks and balances. My real targets. What do you mean, my real targets? I told you 1,000 times I'm not threatening anybody. Where would I possibly get the paradox of my real targets? Let me see. Let me guess what I might have said. My real concerns are about why David Stone has allowed them to ignore this and keep me out of school. Oh my God, a threat. What did I threaten? To sue you? I can't find a judge even. I mean, a legitimate lawyer even. Much less am I threatening to sue anybody. What's the threat again? What's the threat again? I'm trying to understand. Where did I threaten my real target? What do you mean my real target? You mean when I put my glasses on? I really wanted to put my glasses on them. Is that what you're saying? So they could see my point of view? Give me a break. I never bothered David Stone at all. You're making it up. In other words, they went in with the Frankenstein mummy and they said, we'll make this up and we'll make that up and we'll make this up and make that up. And then Rachel McCloskey will say, it's very, very serious, Jim. What gives with these nutheads? People who are in charge of the state of Washington. I don't comprehend it.